Hey guys, welcome back to another video on my channel. Today we're going to be showcasing 5 data packs for Minecraft 1.21. All the data packs I showcase will be linked in the description in the order I showcase them. And some of the data packs we are showcasing today are pretty good. So the first one that we're going to showcase is one that makes a change to shulker boxes. And that is if you have a shulker box that has a custom name. Now you can do this just by throwing a shulker box in an anvil. Let's grab a light blue one, let's throw it in here, and let's rename this to maybe diamonds, as maybe this shulker box holds all of our diamonds. If we then place this down within the world, you can see the name is over it. So if you have a load of shulker boxes placed down, it makes it a little bit easier to find the items you are looking for. As let's say we have a load of shulker boxes here full of resources that we've maybe got while exploring or while building. Instead of having to open up every single one of them, if you are looking for the wood box, then you know exactly what the wood box is because the name is over it. If you're looking for your diamonds, there are 5 blue ones, but you know exactly what one has your diamonds inside as well. Now, there are some rendering issues with this, but that is purely just because the way it works. Like, as you can see, I can see through the shulker box when I stand on top of it. And if you are below, you cannot see the names, which is a good thing. And that is all this data pack does. It just adds a item name above the shulker box with whatever the shulker box is called. If the shulker box hasn't been renamed, then there won't be any name above it. Now, the next data pack we are going to cover make some changes to dispensers. Inside the game, dispensers is a block that can interact with certain items that are placed inside of it. It can also interact with some blocks and entities in front of it as well. For example, being able to shear sheep, or being able to place carved pumpkins to spawn iron and snow golems. Well, this data pack makes it so it can place down most blocks, and it works pretty simple. If you place a block inside a dispenser, and the block can be placed, it will place down the block when powered, just like so. If it can't place the block, so if there is another block in front of it, then it will just spit the item out on the ground like it normally does. So you can basically make farms a lot more automatic because you don't need a player. You can just use the dispenser to do what the player would do when it would place the block down. Now it places the block in the direction the dispenser is facing, so if we get a block that has direction to it, I guess furnaces are probably the best one to show this. So if I just throw a furnace inside of there and then break it and place it down, you can see it's facing exactly the same way as the dispenser. If I was to turn this dispenser that way and place the furnace inside of there and power it, you can see it's now facing that way. And I've just got a load of random blocks which we are going to throw inside of here to show you how it places some of them. So for example, the coal fan gets placed on the ground. If I now remove that, the next one is the candle. And does it keep placing the candles? So let's quickly just remove all the items. I want to know, does it stack the candles up from like 1 to 4? Or will it only place the 1 and then stop? Yeah, okay, so it only places the 1 and then can't place any more. Then we've got the pointed dripstone has now been placed down. So you can see it works with a lot of different blocks. I don't know if there's a list of blocks it doesn't work with, but I'm guessing there are probably some. It can also place down beds. That's kind of cool. And I have 6 more blocks which use different shapes, and I just want to show you that it does work with a lot of unique blocks as well. Okay, it didn't work with small amethyst. That's kind of interesting. And yeah, it don't seem to place that at all. So there are some blocks it doesn't place. I'm just not sure the exact list of them blocks. So the final 2, the carpet, and in the end rod places like a nose, which is pretty cool as well. This data pack is really interesting, and it makes dispensers a lot more useful. Now the third data pack we're going to cover is called Break Them Down, and this lets you break down a load of blocks into their resources. The sum that I know of is the Nether Wart block, which lets you turn it into 9 Nether Wart. There is also the ice, which, yes, that does work. So you can turn blue ice into packed ice and then packed ice into normal ice. So it does make the down conversion of this possible. But a few things I want to try. Can you turn red mushroom blocks into red mushrooms? You cannot. Brown mushrooms or amethyst. So it does work with amethyst, but not the 2 mushroom blocks. And then there is also a advancements tab created for this data pack. And it works with clay. I thought you could break down clay. It works with bricks, it works with quartz, magma, glowstone, and also melons. So it just makes some of these resources a little bit easier to obtain, especially if you find the blocks out in the wild, as then you could just break them down into resources, whereas before you wouldn't be able to. Now the fourth data pack I'm going to cover is one that is really cool. Now I'm not sure if there's a way to find these custom items inside of the world, but you can run into command /function tool trims custom items, and this will place down a chest with the custom items inside. And if you can't tell what it does, it makes it so you can put armor trims on tools and weapons. So if I grab myself a netherite sword, and we're going to put amethyst on it, and then we're also going to grab myself a mace, because you can also trim a mace. So what we need to do is place down this toolsmith table, and then we need to open it up, and you can see right here that it has 3 slots. One for the mace. No, the mace don't go in that slot. So first of all, let's throw the item in. Let's throw the charged one. Then the mace in the second slot, the amethyst in the final slot. And you can see that lets us trim the mace. This charged one makes it so it changes the whole thing apart from the rod. And with the sword, you can see it does the same thing. Changes all of it but the stick. Now let's try some others. So let's try the linear, which you can see just adds a little bit of amethyst to it. We then also have the tracks, which adds like a track up the sword. And then let's try the frost, which we can throw on the mace, which just adds a little bit of detail around it. This is a really cool data pack because it means not only can you tell your swords apart, you can also add detail to them just as a little bit more decoration. But this is also really good if you have like 2 pickaxes, one for silk touch, one for fortune. You can then give them a different trim so you can tell the difference between them in your inventory. It doesn't change anything about it, just like trims on your armor. They are purely just there for decoration. It doesn't add any buff or anything like that to the sword. And then the fifth and final data pack we're going to cover is Vein Miner. And if you don't know what Vein Miner does, it basically means that you can mine ores in a vein. So if I was to go in survival mode and break this iron ore, it will break every iron ore connected. But the cool thing about this data pack is there is some settings that you can adjust. First of all, you have Vein Miner settings pickaxe, and you can disable the different pickaxes. So for example, if you don't want netherite pickaxes to be able to vein mine, you can disable that. And I can now no longer mine with netherite pickaxe. So let's quickly just grab some blocks to build up to this iron. So if I now try and break this, you can see that it doesn't vein mine because I have disabled netherite pickaxes from being able to vein mine. And there is also more settings. The next settings that we can adjust are for general. And this is if hunger is used on vein mine, and also if there is a cooldown between vein mining. This data pack just makes caving a lot easier because you don't have to spend time breaking every single ore. You can break one and it'll break every one within a radius, and you can also customize it. So if you only want certain pickaxes to be able to vein mine, then that is also something you can do. And I like that because, for example, you could make it so only netherite pickaxes could vein mine to make it so players have to get a netherite pickaxe. And then it's also not an early game thing, it's only a late game thing. Now you cannot vein mine any blocks, it has to be an ore. But anyway, that is it for this video. They are the 5 data packs. If you did enjoy this video, do leave a like and subscribe. Let me know if you guys have any data packs that you want me to cover, and I will try and cover them. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.